Welcome back to the main event. 2 million Hong Kong dollar buy-in, 250,000 unlimited re-entry.
I think he's banned me from playing table games with you guys. After in Vegas, I was like falling asleep at like 4 in the morning. He's like, Dan, wake up! You're being bad energy, and I'm just like fucking like shifting off.
So the blinds are 1,000, 2,500, 2,500, big blind ante. Ivan Lau of 8-4 clubs opening it up. Greenwood calls with ace-jack suited. Makita Bodzikowski with ace-king on a dealer button. Going to want to re-raise. This tournament's pretty deep stack, so he's going to want to size up a bit than normal.
23.
That's why I see him make it pretty big, 23,000. Action is on Ivan Lau, 8-4 of clubs. Going to make the call here, out of position. Now Greenwood, ace-jack suited, he's going to be tempted to come along for this three-way pot. Those are 30-second time bank chips in his hand. You get 30 seconds to act on every street. If you go over 30 seconds, you have to turn in 1 time bank chip. And if you run out of time bank chips, if you don't act, your hand is dead. So a three-way flop, 75,000 chips in the middle. And no player has a piece. So it checks over to Makita Bodzikowski, queen 6-3 rainbow. It's a pretty dry flop, but a lot of people like to call 3 bets of like king queen, ace queen, queen jack. And he's up against 2 opponents. One more second act. He likes to take his full time, 20 seconds, whenever he makes an action. He bets 20,000.
You know what I was just thinking about? When you were on my right, last time we played a big tournament, it was the 1 mil. And Dom gave me a full double blind versus blind with a pure check back free.
And then he lectured you about it?
That was dope. He raised the pure check and then he lectured me about it.
What did he have?
7-6 on?
Yeah.
I don't know how to remember that.
Yeah. Well, you were living with me. We probably talked about it.
Right.
Greenwood
I was the last time I was like
makes the call here of ace
on
jack high.
my direct right.
He actually thinks he's got the best hand, and there's some good turn
they
cards
want
he
a
can
big
consider turning his hand into a bluff on. But jack is actually going to improve him.
Yeah, we were in the.
Bodzikowski picks up an inside straight draw.
That I lost to you when you had the wheel. I was just trying to rack my, my Dan database day 1 of Big Birds.
How have I been doing?
So action is on Bodzikowski.
I mean, also with super high roller bowl. You're on my table, but you're on my right. You're on my
If he's
left,
going to reach for
you're
chips there, he's
up
trying to
the
target
table.
hands like pocket 10s, pocket 9s, pocket 8s. They'd be tough to call.
I'm a day one player.
Wow, he's going to shove all in here.
You gotta be, or else you.
Just ace king. He knows that Greenwood would call with hands like ace jack, 8s, 6, 7. It's very tough for him to call. This is a pot size shove. He's only got 16%. Can he get Greenwood fold a pair of jacks?
With the ace 4.
He's 5.
So Greenwood beats ace king. He also beats some straight draws at 3-bet like king 10, 10-9, 2 clubs. He actually beats a lot of hands, but if he's behind, he's in really bad shape.
Really?
Say he's up against ace queen, kings, aces, king queen. So Greenwood turns in one time bank chip. That'll allow him to extend his thinking time another 30 seconds. So Greenwood is in the tank. There's a lot of hands he loses to and a lot of hands he beats. Definitely a tough spot. He is facing a pot size bet. This is a $250,000 main event. Makes the call with ace jack. Wow, he's even Bodzikowski's surprised. He needs to hit a king or a 10 to stay in this tournament. Or he's going to have to put another 2 million Hong Kong in. Here comes the river card. It's a queen, and Bodzikowski's eliminated. He's gonna have to rebuy, and knowing him, he's definitely gonna rebuy. Bodzikowski is actually the back-to-back main event champion.
For me, chips come this way.
Dvoress opening here. Deep Peter is gonna be very sticky from his big blinds, as he should. You have money invested. And that's a really good flop for 8-7. He's gonna continuation bet this. These guys have like 35 big blinds. It's a flop. They can meet with a lot of resistance from the big blinds. Deep Peter's gonna call pre-flop with a lot of hands that connect here, like he has now. Also think about hands like 7-6, 8-6. Dvoress has the ace of spades, and that means he can bet any spade. Ace, king, queen, jack, or 10, so. Deep Peters is not going to give him the chance to make his life tough on future streets. And he check raises the flop. I assume with the intention of calling. Now, those backdoors still count for Daniel Dvoress. He's gonna call. Look at that. In this instance, he's right. That's the best hand. That is a complete brick. And now, Deep Peters has a decision to make. If my opponent call me with a hand like ace king or ace queen, maybe a hand like, you know, pocket eights, pocket nines, pocket tens that he could blow him off of. Or am I getting trapped here?
Hello? Oh.
Deep Peters checks. Dvoress using a time bank chip. Problem with checking is that if D Peters is a hand like the one you currently see, you give that hand a free look at a 30% equity stake in the pot. He's gonna check. That's a break. D Peters is gonna have to bet at this to win it. Wow. That is aggressive. That's an overbet. David Peters. There's definitely some hands that D Peters could check raise on the flop and then slow play on future streets. I'm thinking specifically about some fives, of course. 6-5, Jack-5. Definitely in the range of D Peters. What a spot! He blocked the nut flush. This is what these tournaments are all about: fierce competition. Trust me, when you play this at your local casino, you have to call one bet with ace king on the turn, and that might be it. These guys really know how to put the screws on. Can he pull this off? He has the best hand, but look at his action here. 175,000. This man has ice in his veins. Oh my goodness, is he about to make this call? This would be one of the biggest calls in the tournament for me, personally, and I think you guys would agree. Oh my god. Oh, I can't even imagine what it must be like for David Peters right now. Sweating when you see your opponent grab those chips. Grab the single chip to put in a call. Took it back. Looks like Daniel Dvoress has about 3 of those plaques left to get some extra time. Oh my god, what a call. That is ridiculous. What a call.
So Eibinger betting 25,000 with Queen 8. Double gut shot. Hecklen actually has an open-ended straight draw.
我这里有你的户口了，我在打这比赛。
Hecklen makes the call. Turn card is a 4. It's a blank. Both players on a draw. Action is on Eibinger. He might consider multi-barreling here, but just going to check it back. Doesn't think his opponent would fold. River card is the king. So does Hecklen want to stab here? Just has jack high. He knows he needs to bet at it to win the pot. Hecklen just fires 10,000. Very, very, very small bet. Just hoping that Eibinger is unpaired. Eibinger bumps it up to Queen-8 offsuit against his small bet. Now Hecklen in a tough spot. Trying to think about rebluffing.
On.
What a super sick rebluff there by Hecklen.
Seeing that one.
Wow, he led 10,000 to 70,000.
Very exciting. 10,000,
like
70,000, all of it.
Yeah, so it was like the 1/7 pot bet. Get raised by Queen High and a rebluff by Hecklen.
This guy is such a monster. He's so good.
Yeah, that was such a cool hand.
So we're still on level number 1. 5,000 small blind, 10,000 big blind. The big blind also pays a 10,000 ante.
Eibinger is in the big blind with 7-6 of clubs. Very comfortable with post-flop play. Going to try to take a flop here. Flop's a flush draw. Kenny's got the backdoor ace of clubs.
Eibinger's going to assume on this board a lot of the times 7 and 6 will be good as well. So it's an excellent board. He even has some running straight draws both ends of the board.
It's also a very good board to continuation bet. Your opponent in the big blind, they don't play to 2 or 4 that much. That's why you see Kenny betting. So Eibinger, he can check call, he can check raise. If he opts to check raise here, he probably would want to check raise some 9s on the flop so it's a bit more balanced. See what Eibinger thinks he wants to do. So he is going to make the call.
There's a 6. Now, that's not a great card for Bryn. There's definitely going to be some 5-6, 5-3, 6-3 suited in there. I mean, that card is definitely an advantage for Eibinger in general, which is the biggest problem with it.
Action is on Kenny, trying to decide how does the 6 change things. He's going to check it back. Thinks it's a bad card. Her card's a jack. So Eibinger probably thinks his 6 is good because he probably expects Kenny to continue firing a 9 on the turn. Question is, does he want to try and value bet and get ace high to call? Or maybe just try to check and keep the pot small.
Eibinger going for a value / block bet here.
Yeah, I think he figured out that his 6 should be good. He can get called by like a 2, a 4, some ace highs. And that's why you see this very small bet trying to get a crying call. Action is on Kenney.
27.
Wow, he raising ace queen. This is some gangster poker from Kenney.
Yeah. He's reading Eibinger for exactly what he has.
So Kenney is pretty much representing a jack, you know, like ace jack, king jack, queen jack. Doesn't think Eibinger has a jack because he bets so small. Now if you're Eibinger here, you got to think Kenney's only representing jack, and would Kenney raise a weak jack on river? Say Kenney had like jack 8, jack 7. Wow, he's thinking about calling. Eibinger knows that he bets so small on the river, it's gonna induce some bets. The previous day, you know, we saw some small bets and they got some induced action. You know, Eibinger actually raised Henrik in the previous hand, so he knows all of this. He's got third pair. This is a shot clock tournament. A very tough spot for Eibinger.
That's great.
The thing is, when you bet so small, you actually do allow a jack to raise pretty confidently.
Wow.
Makes the call. Wow,
That's a great call.
excellent play. I think Eibinger just earned himself some fans. That was a very nice call.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're betting the river that small, you have to be willing to sometimes pay it off. So just excellent move. Really great raise by Brink Kenney as well.
Paul Fall all in of ace king. Dominic Nietzsche pocket 8s. It's a 20 big blind shove in the cutoff.
322,000.
Action is on the chip leader. So he's gonna make the call. Pocket 8s. 1-8 is dead.
Huh?
AK.
AK?
Yeah. Why not ace queen? Okay, never mind.
I might hit ace or king.
The deck heavy ace. No ace. Oh, no ace. Maybe.
Paul Fall is at risk with ace king.
You also very headache. Pocket 8.
You step behind people.
Yeah.
Have to call. Standard. I mean, saying that it's kind of troublesome with eights.
Yeah. Very close.
If I have to call out for sure.
So the flop is 10-9-3.
I'm happier with 9s.
You call or you
Fold at 7.
30 big blind, ma.
But no, sure you call.
Call, yeah.
But
Yeah,
two
step
behind.
I was
A bit
scared.
headache like that.
Very scared of them.
Turn card is the 9, so Paul Fall picks up some more outs. He can hit a 10.
No 10.
No, 10, 10.
No short deck. Long deck.
Shot that.
Long deck. Long deck.
It's.
Long deck.
Wow,
River card is
Yeah,
the 3.
up the wrong one.
Next one.
Good game, Paul. Good game, Paul.
Good luck, guys.
So Paul is eliminated. That should bring us down to about 15 players.
If
Dominic, the chip leader, continues to chip up.
Hmm?
With the stack, probably 8.
Deep lah.
Yeah.
1%.
Around 1.8 million chips.
So I'm not
Not
sure.
shot. This not shot deck. Very
I was
close.
thinking,
50-50.
I have to.
but I think 8 is 51.
51, yeah, 1%.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or
lah.
two lah.
Yeah, doesn't matter lah. Plus minus.
I before we all ace king with 2-2.
Mr. Dan.
Maybe.
Yeah, you kind of hit the peak of the baggy clothes
Yeah.
chain.
I found it. Race to 35. 35.
So Jetten opens pocket eights under gun. Eibinger, king 10 suited into hijack.
Taking the picture?
He's going to 3-bet. 100,000 in position. Jetten is out of position of pocket eights. They got pretty deep stacks. It's another 65,000. Definitely has the odds to set mine. So he is going to make the call. So Eibinger is going to bet his top pair. This is a 3-bet pot, so Jetten's probably going to put Eibinger on over pairs or ace, king, ace, queen, queen, jack. If he's 3-betting king 10 suited, he's definitely going to have random hands like 8, 9. So I don't think Jetten can lay down eights. So Jetten turns the best card to 8. Eibinger actually has a backdoor flush draw. 170,000. Eibinger thinks he's got the best hand. Now Jetten here for full house. He's going to want a smooth call. He knows his opponent can have 2 diamonds or 2 hearts. He want to give them the chance to continue betting. And it looks weak, like a weak 10.
15 seconds.
Jetten's gonna smooth call here. So this is 740,000 in the middle. Eibinger could be in big trouble. River card is the king. So Eibinger makes kings and 10s. Jetten continuing to trap. Eibinger in big trouble. He's gonna want to value bet this card. He knows the king is a very bluff heavy card, so his opponent might hero call him down. This is a huge pot.
We're going to be a new level in the main event. 10, 20, 20. 10,000, 20,000, 20,000.
Eibinger is reaching for a lot of chips. So Eibinger is going to use a shot clock to decide his bet sizing. He's trying to make it look like a bluff, but he's actually being trapped.
All in.
All in.
I call.
Jetten snap calls. Eibinger is down to 53,000.
Looks like you cover, man.
Ouch. Peter Jetten is a new chip leader of the tournament. 2.1 million in chips as he turns that 8.
660, 682.
Yeah.
Good game, Matthias.
Wow, so actually Eibinger has been covered. He doesn't have any chips remaining.
That was a hogger.
Wow, jeez. He had so many chips. He played so well. Now he's out of the tournament.
Some lower stake stuff, but yeah.
Dan, be careful killing the cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
All the people.
Yeah.
You have an extra 25k chip there too.
And thank you.
This round there, you buffed me. The bottom was blind for. You
Michael Soiza, ace king.
Buff me off jack hat.
Sorry, dog.
You could bluff.
All in.
He is going to make the shove now. Dominic here, ace queen. I don't think he can let this go. If you look at, I mean, it's not that much of a shove.
260.
He might be able to get away because Hecklen's so deep.
360.
That's a pretty annoying spot, I think, for Dominic.
Ike playing about
Out a million.
$1 million.
So Dominic is asking Hecklen how many chips he's got behind to see if it's worth the risk. Can he let it go?
Call it.
He's going to make the call. The action is on Hecklen with pocket sevens. If he could see both his opponent's hole cards, he would want to go with it, but he can't.
Wow.
So he's in good shape.
Ah, bad fold, Ike.
Pair?
Yeah.
Snowman. Hockey sticks. How did you even have ace king when they reshove on Ike? What's this?
This is Michael Soiza.
Gotta stand up to get the power in.
You stand up when you're behind, man. This is
Don't
Farm-
see great job
fair.
here,
Discover
like,
elimination, you know?
complaining about how
Yeah,
bad you ran before the board runs out. 'cause
Yeah.
it's a pro move.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, this one's wrong.
Good flop for Soiza. Looking to double up.
Good fold.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
turn card is the queen. 3 kings left for Soiza to stay in this tournament. Oh,
wow.
That's fair.
Justice.
That is fair.
Justice.
That is fair. Justice. That is fair.
What a run out.
He did win a tournament this week.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. So,
This one is not that. What are you doing calling ace queen against two backers?
Another all-in, David Peters against Seth Davies. Peters is at risk. He's a 3 queen or ace to stay in this tournament.
6. 6. 6 would be a good card.
Here comes the turn card. It's an 8. Peters is in trouble.
Wow.
Queen on the river. Peters saved on his 4th bullet.
363.
Oh, that
gonna
must feel
save.
good.
Yeah, still in this tournament, 764,000. It's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice stack. He's back up to 38 big blinds.
Yeah. I can imagine he's got this
Yeah,
ship with $1 million on it floating away, and it makes a U-turn coming back. Action is on David Peters, King Queen. Doesn't have many chips left. Got 7 big blinds. You know, everyone's waiting for you. Gotta take the spot. So Adams here, ace-4 clubs in a small blind. Might be able to make this call. It's only 7.5 big blinds. Now Peters in a cutoff. He's likely to shove hands like King Queen, Queen Jack, Jack 10, even like 10-9 suited. So Adams does call.
All right.
Yeah. Peters all in at risk on his 4th bullet. 40%.
What a sweat for him. He's so much invested in this tournament. $1 million. Probably one of the bigger equity spots in his life.
Here comes the flop. Oh, this is bad trouble for Peters. He needs a jack to stay in this tournament. 19%. Comes a turn card. It's a jack.
Wow.
Peters saved again.
What a turn.
Oh, this has got to be super stressful.
Back to the comfort zone, baby.
Almost. Just short. Fuck. Help.
Must be finding nice stuff. Probably big cash. Since they're miking them up. $1 million mine.
Yep. So the game they told us about, and then they switched to short time or something.
Probably.
Kind of saw it coming. I don't know.
Yeah. 80. God, doubt this one's happening.
Sounds pretty good. Too good to be true.
So Dominic folds pocket 5s. Bryn Kenney wakes up with pocket king, so he dodges a bullet. Just keep in mind that Bryn Kenney just 3-bet Bonomo with ace-6 suited. Bonomo didn't get to see that hand showdown. Kenny's going to 3-bet him again.
Perfect. This is just perfect game dynamics for Bryn.
Yeah, Bonomo might feel that Bryn Kenney is trying to bully him.
$305.
Ooh, that's a big one too.
Yeah, it's the same sizing he did last time. Jetten's
Oh
got
my
pocket
goodness.
jacks. Oh my.
Oh, that is disgusting. This is actually not what you want to see. When you look at your hand there, this is not, ooh, I finally found a hand. He's going to be disgusted with this situation having jacks.
Oh, the dynamics, it's pretty good in the sense that Kenney can actually have some bluffs. We see him 3-bet ace-6 suited, so jacks can definitely be good here. It's not in this scenario. Oh my gosh, he's only got 24 big blinds. Can Jetten find a fold?
This is exactly what we're hoping for, playing a bubble.
Well, Peter Jetten.
Bottom was like, what's going on here?
Yes, use a time bank chip. I agree. So he's going to get a 30-second extension. The thing is, Jetten knows this hand will showdown. He's going to lay it down.
Wow, what a fold.
That's so sick.
Quick fold from Bonomo. And guys, that has nothing to do with playing tight. That is just knowing how to stay out of trouble and marginal position situations where you're this close to the bubble. I mean, Dominic Nietzsche has 10 big blinds. There's 3 stacks that are smaller than Jetten at this moment with an $820,000 bubble. You can't just go around firing off against people who are making a 300K pre-flop.
Wow, that was sick.
Yeah, I really commend Jetten for that fold. That's incredible. Like that's just really, really, really solid.
Yeah. Or like if people want to end early, you could always like end early and then postpone that until after this is over.
I heard an all-in from Nietzsche. There's 10 big blinds.
I doubt everyone
It's
wants
under
to
the
do
gun.
that,
Man, he has to just
would.
get through people here.
I'm sure Ike is in.
Comes the small blind. Ace Jack Adams. I don't think he's going anywhere. He knows that Nietzsche is desperate from under the gun. 10 big blinds. The big blind ante's coming.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Ike good or no? Not really?
Timothy Adams in the small blind. Getting a count. It's too often Nietzsche is going to consider shoving hand like ace-10 suited. You know, pocket pairs like 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s.
Also was really nice. If Adams goes all in here, Bonomo would have to fold ace-queen.
Yeah. Well, regardless, he does make the call.
Wow, these are really tense moments.
Yeah, Dominic Nietzsche was once the chip lead of the tournament, is at risk. 2 from the money. He's got pocket 5s against ace-jack. And actually, he played the big pot against Adams before. Here comes the flop. That's a spicy one.
Seems fair.
Yeah, fair fight.
41% for Adams. Ace, Jack, or 10 to knock out Nietzsche.
Pair of the board seems fair.
Just an 800K bubble.
One more
So
card
much
to
nicer,
go.
Card. Pair of the board for you.
Here we go. It's
Wow.
a 10.
That's it.
Dom, you get to hop in that tournament.
Wow.
5
That
minutes
is-
till red gems.
That is a brutal needle.
Pocket queens for Adams. Gonna open it up. Jack 10 suited for Bonomo. What a pretty looking hand. He's got 22 big blinds. See, Bonomo really wants to get in there somehow. Wow,
Whoa.
he's shoving all in with Jack 10 suited.
Oh, wow. Bad timing.
There are some definitely obvious short stacks out there. He is at risk.
Look at D. Peters in the back. He's going to be stoked with this. So is Dan Smith.
So Adams calls with pocket queens. Bonomo has 18% to bubble the tournament. He needs to get there or he's going to be out. 18% chance to stay in.
Seems like a flip.
Queen of Hearts. That's so.
That is a terrible flop for Justin Bonomo. He's got 2%. And it's over.
Just like that. That must be pretty tilting for Justin Bonomo. Everybody guaranteed $820,000 now. We have our top 6 that we will play with tomorrow.
So, Bryn, you start the day second in chips. Yesterday, just before the bubble burst, 8 and 7 players remaining, you put a lot of pressure on. Were you able to take advantage of the tension out there?
Yeah, I mean, once you get close to like the money, especially when a big bubble, like depending on your seating position, you have to just like apply a lot of pressure because people can't really play the same way that they could normally, and have to fold a lot more hands and just have to take high risk, high variance moves just to try to take a commanding position. And at one point, I think I even had maybe the lead or so, just chipping up nice, lost like a pot to Tim, then Tim busted just him, but yeah, I like how I played, like on the bubble. It went well for me, chipped up nice, and yeah, fun game.
Now, these players, you couldn't really have hand-picked a stronger table. How confident are you taking this one down?
The thing is, I don't really think about just taking it down, just like take every hand one at a time, just try to play your best, have a good time, and whatever happens, happens. Only thing you can control is like the way you play. If the cards don't go your way, you can't really be upset or frustrated about it. Otherwise, you'll just drive yourself crazy being a poker player.
So the edges between you guys are so small. Do you think your extra aggression might just tip the balance your way?
Well, I mean, that's all about, it's all different points. So maybe I was extra aggressive then, maybe we play more snug now. It's all about having your own strategy, changing it up when like you see the time to change it up. And yeah, I just feel like I played really well and just feeling good about everything.
And finally, it's been a long week here. How's the week been overall for you, and how nice is it to end on a final table?
Yeah, I love it here. You come for a week and play just super high stakes. It's what I live for. Play the highest level versus the best players in the world. That's what I love to do, to compete. Not really about the money for me. I mean, the money is great, like what you could do with it, but I just love the competition and love the events that are held here. And just, yeah, it's great, of course, to be at the final table of the main event to make sure that you have a winning week also.
Look forward to watching you play today.
Yeah,
Best
cool.
of luck. Go
Great.
take your seat, and we'll throw to the commentary team.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pete and Bryn. Samurai spirit today, Bryn, as he had yesterday. You see here, Timothy Adams, after busting Justin Bonomo, launched over 5 million. First 5 million stack we've seen this tournament. Bryn Kenney still firmly in second. And because we had quite a tense bubble yesterday, a lot of guys got short. As you see here, David Peters, 12 big blinds, Stan Smith and Peter Jetten both with 16. Even Isaac Hexen is not safe with 25 big blinds there. Like we said, everybody guaranteed $820,000. The winner, $4 million.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck, guys.
Good luck, big dogs.
Here we go. Alright, Bryn Kenney, first hand of the day, pocket kings. It's a very welcome sight. Gonna start us off with the raise. Isaac Hexton in the small blind has 25 big blinds. He has a serious decision here. Bryn Kenney's been stealing a lot, applying a lot of pressure. And Ike might think that he can take some advantage of that here.
15 seconds.
All in.
He does go for it. We're gonna see an all-in on the first hand.
Okay.
2.5 million in the middle. Wow, what a start. Isaac Hexton's gonna need an ace. Otherwise he'll immediately become our 6th place finisher. That gives him some extra outs. Or no help to Ike. Needs an ace or a 9. It's a deuce. That's it.
Good game.
Right off the bat, Isaac Hecklen eliminated. That is not what you have in mind when you sit down to play. Bring Kenney very aggressive, and of course, even though we have broken the bubble, that doesn't mean that big stacks will stop pressuring. Page jump's very important at this moment. Isaac Hecklen thinking he was taking advantage of Bryn's aggression there. Bad timing as Bryn Kenney had the pocket kings.
What were those hands? Ace queen or something?
Yeah, I hit a gutter on the river. It's exciting. It's like I opened cutoff. Slavny had like 12 bigs in the rig or something.
Yeah, he started shortest, I think, right?
Those are always in those spots, actually. Whenever I'm looking at, whenever it's going to the river, especially, I never look at the board and I just look at the person. So like I see like his face when the river comes, I was like, oh, that was a 10.
From behind, I'm definitely looking for the river to be like 10 of diamonds. 10 of diamonds.
Yeah, if I'm ahead though, I just sweat the person's face.
Maybe it'd be more fun the other way, so you can really get to experience their pain when you just fucking.
Well, no, but I get the full pain. I get the full pain since I see
there's
like.
not that much pain when you're way ahead.
Oh, that one actually, I hit the
But if,
gutter
like-
though, and I did the same thing. So not always do I do it. This time I had like the 4-outer going to the river, and I caught the
Sorry,
full
what you got,
pain.
PD? 500.
I have, yeah, PD.
We got two, no, we're two PDs in.
Yes,
It's
sir.
chill, right?
You're safe.
Come in.
I'm
It's
called a
always
lot
nice
of
to
things.
hold
PD is
that
one of them, so I don't know.
I thought you were holding.
PD and
Big
Pete's.
one to hold. And it's important
Wow,
too that I
and we have two big hands here in the blinds.
Battle of the Pete's.
David Peters,
I didn't think you were losing that one.
ace 3 in the
Felt it.
small. He has 9.5 big blinds.
Yeah.
Perfect situation for him to try and steal.
I didn't
Peter
think you were losing
Jetten
that one.
Come on.
No.
has an incredibly strong hand in the big blinds.
Call.
And he's going to make the call.
Call.
2 hands in, we have 2 all-ins already.
There's one kid in my soccer team that always called me.
Action-packed
There's
content.
you. There's
Players
you.
guaranteed $1,060,000.
And Salman.
That's it, huh?
There's a $300,000 pay jump, guys.
It's
A
happened like before,
$300,000
but
pay
not-
jump
yeah,
at
it's just
stake
the
right now.
basics.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever called you Tim.
I don't know either.
Like yo Tim, like nah.
It's a king on the flop. Peters does have a gut shot. As you can see, he needs an 8 or a 4. He still has plenty of outs. But if he doesn't catch up, he's out. That's a bad card. That eliminates 2 of his outs. Because Jetten now has a spade draw for some protection.
A lucky 4.
Good old nose spotter.
Four spades.
Doesn't do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good luck.
Peter Jetten eliminates
Pete's found the break even.
Dave Peters.
Plus 150.
Congrats on getting unstuck.
David Peters in for 4 bullets. He managed a way to make some profit this tournament. $59,000 profit for him.
8-10.
And now Peter's got like 1.3.
Yeah.
What a start to this final table.
What do you think? 5 hands and it's over?
Shit, we're not even going to be able to catch the end of the stream with a 30-minute delay.
Wow, and here we see it. Isaac Hecklen, David Peters, 2 early eliminations. And of course, this is all still an afterburner from the bubble that we played yesterday. People had to play ridiculously tight to make the money, rightfully so. But it does mean that everybody's pretty short. It's Bryn Kenney, pocket kings, once again, first hand of the day, he knocked out Isaac Hecklen, pocket kings against the ace-9 of Hecklen. Peter Jetten with a really strong hand here in the big blinds. Kenney raising from the button. He's going to do that a lot in this situation. I really think that Kenney's aggression is going to ramp up. This is a problem for Jetten. Kenney flops the nuts. Peter Jetten going to be very happy with this board. He only has 16 big blinds actually now. The blinds just went up. Playing 30, 60k, 60k now. And this is trouble.
85.
One of the worst things about this board for Jetten is also that if he check raises, he's going to get called quite light because there's a straight draw and a flush draw on board. It's a big difference from, let's say, going all in on King 8-4. A rainbow. Even though the relative hand strength for them is the same, but let's see how he approaches this. If he wants to check call or get what's in the middle right now. He is gonna go for a check raise here. 200,000. Bryn's gonna be loving this. Flopping top set. Jetten has 800,000 behind. There's 760,000 in the pot. If we don't see a spade or a straight card come, that is still kind of a blank though. You can expect Bryn to also move in on the flop if he has a hand like Jack-9 of spades, because he doesn't want to get blown off his hand on the turn. Let's see if Jetten thinks that spade is a scary card. It's 300,000 from Jetten. What a disaster for him. He's gonna shove. Yeah. He's not gonna like this. He's gonna make the call. That's it for Peter Jetten. He is drawing dead. That is just an extremely tough situation. Not much he can do there. You have a 20 big blind stack. He flopped top pair against the most aggressive opponent on the table. Peter Jetten, our third place finisher. Fourth place, excuse me. He's going to take home 1,350,000.
I should do the Jake Schindler move.
It's your fifth Triton final table. These events have been quite good to you.
Yeah, I love the Triton stops, and I've been very fortunate to have some success here too.
How tough was it playing against these guys coming into this final table and today?
Oh, so hard. Everyone in this tournament is an amazing player, and I got very lucky to finish as well as I did.
So are we going to see you on all the Triton stops?
Absolutely. The Montenegro dates just got announced, and I can't wait to be there at the start of May.
And there's rumours that Bryn is trying to round some players up to go to the Fire Festival here on the island tonight. Is that true?
He did let me know about that, and I didn't know about it before, but I've had a very long, hard week of poker, and that kind of thing sounds great, so I guess we'll do that after somebody wins a whole lot of money tonight.
I don't know if you've seen the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix, but sounds like it could be a bit of a worrying evening for you.
No, I'm sure it'll be better than that.
Okay.
I trust Bryn with the party recommendations.
Let's hope Fire Festival 2 is better than the original. Yeah. Okay, thanks for talking to us, Peter. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll send you back to the table.
All right, Peter Jetten, very humble. I think he's cutting himself a little bit short, of course. Played some great poker to get here. Had a big stack all tournament. We've seen him make some big moves against some world-class players. Great finish for him, though. And that's a second good finish. He had a second place for 900,000 earlier this week. Fourth place now, like I said, 1,350,000. These guys are at it now, three-handed. Everybody guaranteed 1,768,000. I mean, every time I say these numbers, it just blows my mind. And there we see that in second place we got 2,756,000. First place, just shy of $4 million. It's gonna min raise. Ooh, we might see a showdown here. That is a monster three-handed for Bryn Kenney in the big blinds. He's gonna put Dan Smith all in.
All in.
There we go. Gonna see a showdown, guys. Dan Smith at risk here. He has to win a coin flip to stay in the tournament.
Thanks, brother.
Who you root for, me or him? No one? Not me?
That means Ace
that
is
sounds
coming.
like Ivan.
Yeah.
No ace.
Not you. High five.
Ivan brought me the lucky ace.
No ace. Okay, Smith. No ace.
Oh, sorry, it's not a flip, of course. My bad. I could swear Smith had sixes, but he outflops.
Or ace is okay. Still.
Kenny pretty hard here.
This is okay one to lose.
Looking at the
Cheap
percentage,
one,
it's like,
okay
wait,
to
that
lose.
doesn't make sense. All right, so, oh wow, what a sweat.
Did Ivan bring the running diamonds?
No diamond.
This is a hot coffee. It's going right in your face.
All right, so let's. You're gonna dodge. Gotta dodge the coffee.
I have like 48, and Dan has.
Wow, it's a boat though.
And I have 40.
It was a diamond, but it was a boat.
Dan has like 40.
I don't know if you caught a flinch.
I did.
It was just like, oh my god.
Fine.
Even when Smith looked at his hand, I thought he had sixes.
One bad diamond.
All clubs.
It's been a long week.
Check small bet. Fold. I've never played a sim with sevens on the pocket. That never happened.
Bryn Kenney's going to put Dan Smith all in again. Dan Smith's got King 8 offsuit. He's been played at the whole time when he's been short, and he might be pretty tempted to call here, thinking that Bryn Kenney's going to shove hands like Jack 10, you know, even King 5, any King. So this is definitely above average hand. He's got 40%. Looks like Dan Smith is going to make the call here of King 8. He is at risk 40% to stay in the tournament. Not the hand you wanted to see. Dan Smith is at risk 40% to stay in this tournament. Needs a king or an 8. who'll be the third place finisher. So flop misses both players. Kenney will need to just dodge an 8 or a king to knock out Dan Smith. Comes a turn card. It's a 6, so Dan Smith can now hit a straight with a 9. He's got 22%. One more card. There's $1 million pay jump. Rear card's the queen, and Dan Smith is out in third place. 1.768 million. Played excellently throughout this final table. And we're down to heads up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Pot down.
Heads up will be for $1.2 million.
Yeah, he's in a really good spot, and we can also confirm, guys, the break took a little bit longer, and it's because the players were discussing a deal. They are still playing for heaps, so that's why you see the serious face is still on. They both agreed to take approximately $3 million each. Kenney had a slight chip advantage, so he'll take a few 10,000s more. But they're both still playing for $500,000. So both players guaranteed a little more than $3 million, playing for $500,000 heads up. So this is still an insane pay jump that we're playing for, and that's why these guys are battling so hard, as you saw in that hand as well.
Yeah, $500,000 heads up match, and one player's got 95 big blinds, the other with 55 big blinds. Adams is going to limp. So again, these blue chips are 100,000, the orange chips are 25,000, and the black orange chips are 5,000 apiece. What a flop. So this is a limp pot. Bryn Kenney's going to lay the trapping check to his opponent. Adams got 8-5. And in a limp pot, it is pretty tempting to bet in position. Your opponent is just going to have random cards a lot that won't hit a paired board. He's going to check, try to take a turn card. And he turns a 5. Bryn Kenney, does he want to bet with his trip 4s? I like the check. It just seems so unlikely your opponent usually has a piece. Adams, he's got a pair of 5s. He's seen his opponent check twice. Got to think it's good.
Yeah, you're going to have to check so many random hands from the big blind and then check again after the flop. It's really cool to also employ some check raise strategies to not appear too weak all the times.
80.
So Adams is going to bet the minimum 80,000. Trying to get some value out of like king highs, some ace highs. When Kenney sees this minimum bet, he must know that his trip 4s are good. Just trying to decide, should he check raise? There is a lot of diamond draws, straight draws he can represent. He is reaching for raising chips. $540,000. Now, this is a pretty tough spot for 8-5. You made one of the best cards for your hand. There's 2 flush draws. There's a straight draw. And he knows Kenney's aggressive. He might not be able to get away from his hand unless he's got a very sick read that Kenney would not play anything but a 4 this way.
Yeah, and Adams is getting a little bit of a taste of his own medicine. The big raises, the big powerful bets that you have to face on turns, and I think it's an excellent strategy. It also makes rivers a little bit easier to play, defining Adams' range of hands a little bit more.
I don't blame Adams for making this call. Your heads up, you only got one opponent to beat. He's definitely going to make moves against you. So he calls a 4% chance of winning this pot. Here comes the river card. It's a 5.
Wow. That's just unbelievable.
Adams has made running 5s to beat trip 4s. They both have a full house. What a sick hand of heads up. Action is on Kenney. He definitely is actually loving his card, thinking, you're not going to put me on a 4 or 5. He knows his opponent could have a 5, but he knows that he represents a lot of missed draws to check raise the turn. Now Kenney's deciding, should he bet for value or try to get a diamond draw or spade draw or a 6 to bluff at it? He is going to go for a check. And that's going to let Adams set the price. Now given the action, he probably thinks Kenney either has nothing and won't call a bet anyways, or he's got a 4 and he can go for a ton of chips. It's really hard for Kenney to call with anything but a 4. Don't think king high is going to call like, you know, an overbet right now. And this is a limp pot, so you got to remember that Kenney, unlikely to have like say pocket 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s. He would have raised pre-flop after the limp. So you can really only get a lot of value from a 4. And Adams knows this.
At the same time, that's nice too, because you can just make it pretty large if you want, because you don't have to be afraid that there's a cutoff in there somewhere where another pair will fold. Or
So Timothy Adams uses one time extension, reaching for some chips. That is a ton of chips. 2.4 million.
Wow. That's twice pot.
Adams is just trying to get call from the 4. He's gone for the maximum. Bryn Kenney here. You were pretty much ready to snap call any reasonable bet, but when you see this overbet now, you really got to think about this because Adams has a 5 or nothing. Adams had a 4% chance to win this pot on the turn. He's going to use a time extension. 30 more seconds for Bryn Kenney on a bluff catcher. Wow, this is such a sick spot. $2.4 million chips is 30 big blinds. They both start to handle for about 70 big blinds. There's about 140 big blinds in play, so this is a lot. Another time extension being used, another 30 seconds for Bryn Kenney. You can feel the tension. It's a huge heads-up match.
And it's so tough because when you play heads-up, it's so hard for your opponent to make a really strong hand. When there's 6, 7 other players at the table, everybody has so many cards that good hands are just so much more likely.
This heads-up match hasn't been going on for that long, so it doesn't really have that much of a read. Makes the call. Ouch. Bryn Kenney knows that he had a big hand.
That's running 5s. I mean, look at the flop.
Oh, that's the nastiest run out I've ever seen.
Yeah, and what a stage to have that happen on.
Maximum value, 1.5x pot.
Got saved there hard.
Can imagine.
Two very accomplished players. This is their biggest score to date.
Raise.
First hand after that short break, ace 10, queen 8 suited, going to a flop.
Quarter more.
Sorry?
25 more.
Sorry.
Both players miss.
Yeah, Kenney with a strong ace high, but Adams has really good backdoor draws and an overcard to the jack. That's one of those cards that Adams is really looking for.
Yeah, so backdoor flush draw, inside straight draw. When your opponent checks this flop, it does look kind of weak, usually with high cards. You've seen Adam make these big bets with good hands. He's doing it with draws as well. It's an overbet, 750,000. That puts a maximum pressure on ace high type hands.
Yeah, there's quite a few hands that Kenney could call with. This is a tough one, but it's still such a strong ace high. There is a lot of draws possible. The only drawback of that is that a draw actually has a lot of outs against you. I mean, if we look at the percentages here, Adams' hand is 40% to win.
Kenney knows this overbet is very polarizing. Wow, he makes the correct call with ace 10 high. Bryn Kenney is the favorite right now. Adams is rooting so hard for one of his cards. 2.1 million. This is battle. And the king of hearts on the river, he makes his flush. Kenny's only got 2.6 million chips behind. Another unlucky spot for Kenney. Is Adams going to go for all the chips again? That is all the chips. He's putting his opponent all in. Kenney called the turn thinking he was up against a heart draw, some straight draws like queen 10, 10-8, 2 hearts. And the king just really connects with most of those hands, so very bad river card. I think now he thinks he only beats like 10-8, 10-7, 5-6, 5-7, these types of hands are not that strong. Kenny's going to use a time extension on this hand. He knows the big bet is really polarizing to a flush or nothing usually. Having a 10 in your hand doesn't help because you're trying to pick off hands like 10-8 and 10-7.
What a river. That is one nasty looking river for in terms of hoping your opponent misses.
So Bryn Kenney has used 2 time extensions in this hand. So it has about 6 to 7 extensions remaining. Kenney is thinking about hero calling off of just ace 10 high. He knows that Adams can make big value bets and big bluffs, so it's a tough spot for him. He's been losing so many pots lately. Wants to make a stance soon.
I wonder how much the other hand is playing through his head. That he thinks if I call here, we have the roles reversed again, I'll be in the chip lead. Sometimes it seems like, you know, an easy out in a way.
Kenney has used another time extension. He's 2 minutes and 30 seconds into tank. He's really thinking about it. If he folds, he's only got 2.6 million behind. Another time extension. Closing in on 3 minutes, thinking about it. Adams is begging for a call.
Call.
Makes the call with ace-10, and it's over.
Flush.
Timothy Adams wins
Good game, Tim.
the main event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
What a finish.
That was a quick heads-up match. Bryn Kenney made a hero call of just ace-10 high, eliminated in second place for over $3 million US.
Wow, live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah, you can see he's very disappointed ever since that one full house over full house hand. And here is the champion, Timothy Adams, the $250,000 main event. And there's all his friends rooting him on. Congratulations to Timothy Adams.
Tim, you've won the main event. Congratulations. Tell us first of all, how's that feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. Just really tired right now. It's like 3 really grueling days of poker, and I didn't sleep the best last night, so I'm a little tired today. But yeah, I'm obviously very happy.
Just talk us through that very last hand there. Obviously, you were really desperately hoping he'd make that call, Bryn, and he did. Just give us a brief rundown of that one.
Yeah, I mean, kind of standard. He raised a hand that he's supposed to raise a lot, and I called the hand that I'm probably just supposed to call. And went check on the flop, and I had a big draw on the turn, and I decided to use an overbet size, and he called, and then I made my hand on the river, and yeah, I just went all in, I think as I should. And then, yeah, he thought for a very long time and made a hero call, and I was obviously very thrilled to get called, so yeah.
And the heads-up battle against Bryn, how tough was that? You must have a lot of experience playing against him in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing against Bryn since I was like 19 or something, and I'm 32. So tons of experience with Bryn. He's an amazing player. And yeah, I mean, I play quite a bit of heads up, so felt pretty comfortable, but it's always a tough transition when you've been playing full ring or six-handed for the last, week, and then all of a sudden you get heads up and the stacks are varying and you kind of have to, wing it. And yeah, it went well.
And you're one of the most consistent players on the circuit. Your results just seem to be endless and they go on forever. But to win a trophy and the title here, your first Triton event win must be special.
Yeah, I mean, the field was really tough, and I think the best players in the world were in the field. So yeah, obviously to win it feels amazing. I obviously had to run very, very good, as I think most people have to that win a poker tournament. And yeah, I'm thrilled that it's me.
And where's the trophy going to take its place?
My office. I have a few trophies in my office beside my computer, and yeah, that's where they go.
Well, Tim, congratulations.
Yeah.
Amazing victory. Really
Cheers.
enjoyed watching you play.
Thanks.
And we'll send you back to the commentary team.
Yeah, cheers.
Where else would the world's finest players compete for prize pools of $40 million US in the most stunning venues? It can only be a Triton poker event.